Okay, good. So Karen, I'm glad this all worked out. We're here. We're gonna interview. So thank you for taking a minute out today.
Yes, thank you, Joe,
You
for
bet.
having me on your show. I'm
Ab-
excited.
Absolutely. So let's begin our journey with this.
Okay.
6 years ago, this pandemic changed our lives, our world. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you approach life today?
Oh, great question. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely crazy times. However, it did give me the kick in the butt I needed to be able to move my business forward, to go on my dive deeper in what keeps me stuck, my own healing journey, I call it. Um, I started off, I'm a massage therapist for one. I've been practicing for, I think it's 18 years now. I think I lost count somewhere along the line. And I wanted to be a coach. Like I wanted to expand my business. But of course, I get in my head and get in my way and all that kind of stuff. So when the world shut down, it actually gave me the space to go, okay, I need to pivot with my business because we don't know what's happening in the world. And I didn't know if I could go back to doing massage, right? And I'm also involved in a network marketing company as well. So I thought, how can I expand on this and be able to move forward? So I ended up going back to school once again. I've gone back to school a few times. It's funny, I didn't like school growing up, but as an adult, I love school. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I ended up taking a course in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, that I'd been avoiding for like years. So anyway, I finally just ripped off the Band-Aid, went and did that. And then I also teach breathwork classes. So I thought, okay, well, if I want to be a facilitator, I need to get the skills to be able to teach. So I went back to school again.
Yeah.
Because what else do people do when the world's shut down, right? Let's go
Exactly.
spend money and expand. So that's what I did. And that's generally really during that time, I really focused on getting clarity of what I want to do moving forward.
And I think that was the big wake up call for all of us, especially in our age bracket. We realized we're either halfway or close to halfway done with this ride. So, what are
Yeah,
we going to do? How are
that's
we going
right.
to refine our approach to being alive on this planet?
Yeah.
And yeah, that makes sense. So, if we were to synthesize what you do on a daily basis for a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day to make your life make sense to them, how do you explain what you do for a living?
To a 12-year-old?
Yes.
Wait, can I get out AI for that?
Chat GPT, hold on.
Yeah, hold on one second. Pause. No. Well, how would I explain? I think to explain to a 12-year-old of what I do is I help people step into their own, like pay attention to the stories that you're telling yourself of I can't do something. So I help people step into I don't have kids, so it's like, how do you explain that to a 12-year-old? But to step into your own power and focus on what brings you joy at the end of the day, right? Because again, like we were saying before, we can get caught up in the draw, like the stuff in the world, or how do we make this place a better place,
Yeah.
a better world than what we stepped into?
And I
And
don't know
that's
that
what
it,
I do.
yeah, well, I don't know that 12-year-olds would understand that because that's what they natively do anyway. You
Well,
know,
exactly.
I mean, it's like when you look at a small kid, there's no fences, it's like they are operating completely off the id, ego, superego. There's nothing getting in the way. There's no human masks. So let me ask you this. When you were 12 years old and you were in that classroom, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream gig?
You want me to go back that far? Well, let's see. When I was a kid, well, I wanted to be a veterinarian
Okay.
and work with animals. And then I realized that, well, I don't want to do surgery. And I don't want it I remember when I got a little bit older and started looking into that path. And I was like, I don't want to go to university that long because I hated school growing up.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put animals to sleep. So it wasn't the right and I don't like, I don't want to cut into animals and stuff, right? So it wasn't a good career for me.
Yeah.
However, back then, I think around 1920, um, that's when I had my first business, and I ended up becoming a dog groomer. So I
Yeah.
had my own business. I didn't like people back then because I thought people were mean, and kids can be mean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great kids out there, but there's some that are not very nice, and I met the ones that weren't very nice.
Yeah.
I worked with animals, and then when I turned 40, I was burnt out, so went back to school to become a massage therapist. But yeah, I don't know. What do 12-year-olds do? I can't think that far back.
Yeah, I mean it's about fifth, sixth grade, so yeah, I mean I mean I know I was a product of the 80s. I don't know that I wanted to do anything other than be next to Poncherelli on Chips and ride the motorcycle in LA. Right?
Oh,
That's
I
it.
love that. Yeah, I think at the age of 12, I think I was trying to fit in. If I was to think about it now, because when you said grade six, I'm like, yeah, what was I doing? Oh, I was trying to fit in, and I got bullied as a kid. So
Yeah.
um, I think I was just trying to make friends and not get beat up.
Yeah. Yep,
If I
I
could
get it.
back then, right?
That's pre-middle school. It is survival. And then it's that awkward stage of life and everything. Just I used to have this theory that everybody in that middle school range should just stay home for 3 or 4 years. Get all of it out, right? Get it all out of your system. Do what you want, figure it out, and then come back, you know?
I
So,
agree. I agree. Yeah, yeah. Get through
hibernation.
the hormonal stuff and the teenager stuff,
Just get
and
it all out of your system.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then come back.
Then come
I
back.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it. Just be a
Yeah,
bear in hibernation for an extra long time.
that's
So
right.
let's get into your early part of your life. What were some of the seeds early on that were planted that has led you to be a freedom coach, that has allowed you to help others find their path, their true voice? What were all of those things early on that you think happened to you that has evolved into who you are today?
Well, I think like if I like again, it's the I in 2018 I went on a healing journey because I was just stuck in my past, right? And stuck in these beliefs of like I can't do certain things or I'm missing out. There was a lot of for me a feel like a sense of missing out. Like I missed the boat years ago. Who's gonna listen to me now? I'm the baby of four in my family, and who's gonna listen to me because people didn't listen to me growing up. And I still find my siblings don't always listen to me now, but that's okay. I'm past that now. They don't have to, right?
Yeah,
But back then it was the fitting in part of things because like I was saying, I got bullied as a kid, right? So I wanted to fit in. What I learned, especially during the lockdown, there were did you ever hear of Clubhouse?
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I was like addicted to Clubhouse because it was the only thing that was kind of keeping me a little sane during that. But here's something I learned that I didn't know before was that I always wanted to fit in with the cool kids. So like when I was younger, I took up smoking and I got into the drugs and all that kind of stuff because I wanted to fit in with the cool kids, right? And then maybe I'd get the cool guy, right?
yeah,
However, that took me down a path that wasn't very cool. And thank God I have, I had my parents' voice in my head saying, if you continue going down here, we're going to disown you, right? Anyway, thank God I was smart enough and got out of that crowd, right?
yeah,
But where I was going with that was that fitting in, and I didn't know the difference between belonging and fitting in. Fitting in, I learned, was about you have to change who you are to fit into somebody else's lifestyle. And belonging means people will accept you for who you are. You're in a community where they accept you.
yeah.
That changed my world
Hmm.
because then I didn't get this like I have to fit into other people's worlds. I have to be like them to be successful. I started learning that I could just be me and continue to learn to be me and let go, right?
Yeah,
So that's one big thing that I teach my clients as well. And one of the biggest questions I ask them is, okay, well, you know what you don't want, what do you want? Because we're not taught this stuff in school, right? You're taught what to do, how to do it, when to do it. This is what you should be doing. We're not taught to think generally for ourselves in so many ways. So we have to change the programming of what we were taught growing up to what do we want now? We don't know how long we have on this planet and this body. So what do you want to do? What do you want to live? What excites you at the end of the day? And recently, I just got back from a retreat. And I would say, I would say the last month, I've been really stuck in this. I'm quick to say I can't do something. I go to, I'm in a program for marketing. I go to do one of the exercises. I don't know what she's talking about. So I'm quick to just shut it off and go, I can't do this. But I started seeing that in different areas of my life. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Who says I can't do something? I'm not supposed to know how to do it because I haven't learned it yet.
yeah.
So that's a big awakening for me lately. Just what story am I creating in my head that says I can't do something?
Yeah,
Because it says I can't do it.
course, you can do anything. So,
Right.
who's your hero? Who's your inspirational force that's allowed you to find this confidence, to find your footing, your vocation, who you are?
I love Esther Hicks. Excuse me. I love Esther Hicks. I listen to her. Joe Dispenza. I love Bob Proctor. I don't, there's not just like one person. Um, but I find if I'm super stuck on something, I do go to Esther Hicks. Excuse me. I have to cough for 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you could sit down with one of those figures that you look up to, or anybody on the planet right now, spend some time with them that might help you on your journey, particularly where you're at in life right now, who'd you love to have a lunch with and talk to?
Oh, I'd love to meet Esther Hicks. I think she would be a riot. I actually thought about going on one of because she runs cruises
Uh-huh.
still stuff,
Yeah.
and I would love to go on one of those cruises. I'm manifesting that
We actually, when I was in my
one.
20s, we had this dream of going to Kurt Vonnegut's house on Cape Cod and pulling up with a carton of Pall Malls and a big thing of coffee and just seeing if we could ask him 5 questions. And we used to try to hammer out the best 5 questions that we could get. And we had some pretty good ones. I need to try to see if I have them anywhere. But yeah, it would be fun to just have a moment with those people to ask them some questions, you know. So let me ask you this. What is the motivator for you every day to do this work? Because getting into a place where you're coaching and helping people, you have to get into the messy parts of being a human being, right?
Of
But
course.
you're also a human being with your own soul and your own life. How do you protect yourself and do it at a high level? So essentially, when that alarm clock goes off in the morning, what gets your feet on the ground?
You know, right now, because right now what's keeping me more motivated is our winter here is long. And we've had a really, really cold winter and so much snow that it's really confirming that I want to be a snowbird. I want to go somewhere south,
Yeah.
even if it's for a month or two. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing here. Excuse me. Um, and I just, yeah, it made me realize that, yeah, I want to go away for the winter,
Yeah.
even if it's for a month or two.
I've thought about that as I've gotten older in Kansas City. Like, what am I doing? Because I'll get
Yeah.
to these places where there's oceans and mountains and all of these things, and it's like, what? So, are you close to Toronto?
Yeah, I'm about an hour from the city. Yeah.
Did you get wrapped up into the World Series?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
A little bit, but not like to the point of I'm going to go into Toronto and face those crowds, right? I can
gotcha.
listen to it and stuff, but yeah,
Okay, I
not a
was just
sports
curious.
fanatic.
Yeah, it was one of the most highly rated World Series ever. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you guys had it. Like the ending of Game 7 was the most rapturous moment I've ever seen in sports. I was just like, wait, 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 wait. There's no way that that just happened. It's not just over with like that. It can't be. We
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
have a minute to breathe.
yeah.
Uh, it was wild. So when you think, speaking of being a snowbird, when you think about the word retirement, when that big, huge set of words with twirling lights around it come up in your mind, what do you think about? What's retirement mean to you?
Retirement, that's a great question because I remember Bob Proctor said the day he retires is the day they put him in the ground.
Yeah.
And I've had that in my head. Like retirement means, I don't know, I hear the word retirement, and does that mean I need to go to bed? Like, you think of, oh, I'm going to go retire now. And, it used to be you'd go to bed, right? So retirement, I think for me would be more of, I want my business to be running its own. So, and still me be in it to some degree, but be able to have more choices. Like I love to travel. I'm going to Cayman in a month. I'm going to Italy in September. I want to have even more experiences and not necessarily be in my business so much. And I
Have you?
love what I do, so it's hard to separate it
Yeah,
sometimes, right?
for
Like,
sure.
especially
Well,
when you love.
yeah, that's the ideal. So have you been to Italy before?
No, and I'm so excited. I went to
Uh,
Greece last year.
wow,
So
yeah, I would love to get there. So where are you going to go to Italy?
I'm going with a friend of mine. We're going to we start off in Rome and
Oh
then
my God.
yeah, and then we're going to Florence, Venice, or Lake Como and Venice.
Uh-huh.
then back home again.
Wow, I've been to all of those in my 20s. I went there. I was actually in the back of a water taxi on the morning of September 11th, 2001, trying to get home
Wow.
to America. But I've been through there. Rome, I feel like if I have a lineage of lives that have happened before now, one of them was in Rome. That was a magical place. I mean, when you look at the Forum and you look at the Colosseum, like at that point, I was there in 2000 when cell phones weren't really that popular. And I'm just looking at the surface out there and a cell phone went off. And I was like, wow, what a huge chasm between antiquity and modern technology. It was a totally mind-blowing thing. But anyways, you're going to absolutely love it. And Rome, just so you know, is 100% different by day and night. So
Oh,
really
okay.
do your best to get like a tour at night. And then, of course, the Vatican's unreal. I mean, St. Peter's Square is like, you just can't believe that it's just that magical. But so let me ask you this. If you were to have a dream tonight and you ran into the 18-year-old version of you and you walked into a room and that version of you, that young version, was next to a film projector and you went up at your age now and hit play and it played a 60-second highlight reel of your life, would you believe that's your life?
Of my, sorry, if it, say that again, if it played a 60-second of my life now or
Yeah,
back.
of everything that you've lived, the life you've lived since 18 to now, would that young version of you believe that this is the life that you've led?
That's a great question. I've never
Fun.
been. Okay, let's see. Would it believe, would me, I'm not in it. Would I have believed maybe some of it, but probably not all of it?
Would you give any advice?
I would say, I would say, please don't go down the path that I went on at that. Although we have to go through these things. That's the
Sure.
thing. We have to go through these things. But I would probably said to believe in myself sooner.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't start believing in myself until I reached 50. Like truly believing in myself. And even now, it's like I'm seeing things starting to happen. And I just turned 60 in September. So it's I think I would have told my younger self to believe sooner and not because I didn't care about school and I mean I graduated but didn't do university, didn't do anything like that, right? I just went working,
But that's the bane of youth. You think when you're 18, you think 50, you're like, "Oh my God, that's old. That's
right?
antiquity." But the beauty of age when you get to this point is you start figuring things out. You don't care what people think. You kind of just go on your motorbike without a helmet and enjoy your life. You
Yeah.
know? That's kind of that's the beauty of it. So, when did you know? What was the moment that you knew? Because we all have these moments of vocations that we pick where we may not be sure, but when was the moment that you knew coaching and this avenue you're on right now was your destiny, so to speak? This is what you needed to be doing with your life. Was it a client? What was it?
No, it was during lockdown because a lot happened during that, right? So for me, it was this like, okay, so here's what I'm learning that's helping me get through this. How can I share that with other people? So I was doing lives every day on social media.
Yeah.
And then I stopped for a bit and somebody reached out and said, where did you go? You've been helping me out a lot. Right. So I was like, oh, okay. So people are watching.
Yeah.
And I am making a difference. So I had avoided, and I think I did mention that about taking this NLP course because, it's $5,000. We're in lockdown. Where am I going to come up with $5,000? I didn't want to spend the money. I'd been avoiding it for like ages. And then one day I was in the shower and I thought, okay, you want a coach? I think that was a big wake up for me is when somebody said how much I was helping her out during this. And I thought in the shower, I was just like, okay, Karen, what's it costing you? Like, what's your fear? What's your fear of spending
Yeah.
the money? Right. So it was like, okay, well, I don't want to spend the money. I just finished getting out of debt, yada, 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 blah, 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 whatever it was I was saying. And then I thought, and then I said, okay, so what's it costing you by not taking it? Because if I want to make this world a better place than what I came into, help to make it a better place, and I want to coach and help people find joy, find who they truly are, come back to themselves, which is in their heart, I need to invest. So I was like, okay, fine. Reached out to someone and said, are you still teaching this? and the rest is history. So I just did. I just figured it out,
So that
right?
person that complimented you, it was just that's just how they felt. And there's all these random acts of kindness that people do that can really become pivot points of changing your life. What would you say is one of the nicest things that anybody's ever done for you?
The nicest things. Oh, people have done all kinds of nice things. Um, well, just again, like being supportive, listening to me when I'm going off on my, if I get in my head too much or get into my own drama, that, they're just there. People have offered, I have a close friend of mine who offered financially to help me out when I was struggling. Um, those are just some things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, of everything that you've accomplished, overcome, and evolved to at this point, what are you the proudest of?
I'm proud, I was just saying that today, recently, is that I'm proud that I've stayed on this journey and I continue to grow. I continue to transform. Continue to become more aware of my thoughts, right? Am I going down a rabbit hole with something, or is this getting me closer or further to my goals? And never giving up on myself,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, again, I'm human. I have my good days, I have my bad, not so great days. I understand what emotions are about, what they're here to teach us, and just never really giving up on myself. And lately, it was the recent one that I was saying earlier around um, paying attention, aware. Like, so yesterday I was working on a project and I had no idea what I was doing. And normally, like I think I said earlier, normally I would just go, I can't do this. To no, Karen, you're going to figure it out. You're going to sit down. And I stayed calm, which that was a new one for me, especially around learning something that was a little bit challenging for me. I stayed calm and I was just like, I'll figure this out. And then by the end of the whole thing, after doing this, working on it most of the day, at the end, I was like, this is so simple. Why don't I just do X, Y, Z? But I had to go through the whole process
Yeah,
to come out to what was so simple,
for
right?
sure.
I'm very proud of myself with that. It showed me growth. And
Yeah.
people that used to trigger me um recently, the trigger's not there. It's just like, well, okay, you do you, I'll do me, right?
Yeah.
The Let Them theory. I don't know if you've read that book yet, but it's a
No.
great book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So let's dig a little further into this. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm someone who loves life. I really, truly do love life. I like to have fun. I like to have adventure, good adventures. And I love laughing. And I truly do care about people and myself. Like I really do. I love myself. I really do. And I see people's potential and I hear the stories that are keeping them stuck and I just want to listen to it. And if I can help guide them change their perception of something, then I know I'm on the right journey.
So if you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see one event in human history, and it won't create a tear in time, it won't be a weird thing. You can just watch it happen. What event in human history would you love to see unfold before your eyes?
What event in history? You know what? I have no idea.
Okay.
Not a clue. Um, Boy, I should have got these questions ahead of time.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, this is more of a bit.
What would you want to see again? I don't know, actually. That's a great question.
So, in the realm of jazz, because I'm a jazz radio guy, I would love to see the first time that Ella Fitzgerald stepped onto the stage of the Apollo as a little girl before she blew the roof off of that place. Just to see them all get ready to heckle her because they just were like, what are you doing? And just to see her blow it off. I think it would be kind of fun to go back to a level of Buddha at some point to see the Buddha in nature, like what that would be like.
That would
Um,
be cool.
or maybe the very first domesticated cat, just to see what that cat was like. That would be
Oh my
fun.
God, I love that. You see, I would never have, now that you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, that would have been really cool. I would have liked to seen like go back in to the early, 1900s or even 1800s just to see what things would be like, you
Yeah.
know, wear the fancy hats and the dresses.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
not the whatchamacallits, the not corsage, the corset,
Yeah.
maybe not wear that. But I think that would have been, I don't know, it would have been neat to see. Like, yeah, if you could
Totally.
go on a time machine, go back,
Yeah.
100, 200 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll find that matrix one day.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to reach out, they have questions, they want to hire you, they need to be coached, they want to find freedom, where do they go?
They can find me on social media. So I'm on Facebook mostly. I am on Instagram and I'm slowly getting into YouTube. You can go to my website, KarenTheimer.com. Feel free to reach out, book a session. I would love to have a coffee chat with you because I love coffee. So yeah, would love
And,
to.
and and what else are you going to do in the winter with all the snow and cold? Have coffee, you know?
Coffee, right? I love coffee.
That's it.
Never,
It's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
It's wonderful. Karen, this has been absolutely great. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time. Good luck in the winter. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe, for having me. This has been a great. I love your energy. Like you've got a lot of great energy too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.